Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to Joe's Garage for another episode of Subaru Saturday, and we have an extra special video for you this week. As you can see, we have the engine to the 2.5RS sitting right here next to me on an engine stand, and that can only mean one thing. It's time to rip this thing apart. I'm super excited for this step because I've always wanted to see what we're gonna be working with so I can start planning the build for this engine. Last week we hit a major milestone. Our video already has 1,000 views, and that is so special to me, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who watches. That means so much, and it just motivates me to bring you guys some awesome content. So without wasting any time, let's just get our hands dirty, start tearing this thing apart and seeing what we are gonna be working with. I'm super excited for this week's video, and I hope that you guys enjoy.
The very first thing we had to do was remove my dad's 4.2 liter inline 6 that belongs in his Jaguar E-Type from the engine stand so we could mount up the 2.5RS EJ25. But before we get carried away in today's video, there is a few things that I need to say. As I was editing this work, I realized that it was going to end up being an extremely long video, and I'm already light years behind while I was editing because I was up working on the engine until 3:30 a.m. last night to get the finished results. You're going to find out later in the video what I mean exactly. I am kind of disappointed with myself because I didn't manage my time properly while working on the car and my plan of attack for this week's video. I am always pushing myself to the limits to make these videos happen because I just want to provide the best content I possibly can. That leads me into why this weekend's videos are going to be a lot different than usual. So the day I tear down the engine, I end up working from about 2 p.m. to 4:30 and end up going home to spend time with my wife and kids and plan to return later in the night to finish up the work like I have done many times in the past. The good thing about that is that it breaks up the videos almost into two different parts, which is exactly what we're going to do with the videos for this weekend. The plan is to drop the rest of the engine teardown for a Subaru Sunday and hope that all of you watching are interested enough to see the in-depth steps I take, breaking down the engine and the final results when we actually have it completely taken apart. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss what I discover when I complete the job. Some of you watching have mentioned trying to break the video up into two parts due to the length of the work and amount of time I spend filming, so I hope that this works out and everyone will join me for a Subaru Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you guys enjoy today's video.
We gotta go up a little bit. Yeah. And we're probably gonna have to move. Just that's how it has to go.
That's how you get it out.
Gotcha. Alright guys, you already know it's time for the question of the video, and I'm starting to really love this. It's really boosted engagement and I'm really enjoying what you guys have to say. Last week, Elad left a comment mentioning, what was your biggest project on a car to date? And a close friend of mine also suggested I ask, what is a current car you're working on, or your weekend warrior, or your project car? To narrow that down, the question I want to ask is, what was the last job you did on one of your vehicles or one of the projects you're working on? For me, was a Honda CR-V. It was a 2008 all-wheel drive. I have the video on my YouTube channel. What I did was a ball joint. That was for a very good friend of mine, Tony and Aaron. They recently got engaged, so if you guys are watching, congratulations. I'm really proud of you. That is super special, and you guys are really great people, so you deserve that. I can't wait to hear what you guys say. Make sure to leave me a comment in the section below. While you're at it, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, you have to subscribe. I make these videos every week, and I'd love for you guys to come along the journey with me. I'd really appreciate it, but without talking anymore, let's get right back to tearing this engine down to its bare bones. I can't wait to see what the result is going to be when we're finished. Alright guys, so here's the engine, and I'm no professional and it has been a while since I've torn an engine down. You know, recently I did a 1.8 liter turbo Volkswagen engine and a Ford F-150 with the 5.4 3-valve. I replaced a piston in that engine and I did a head gasket for the 1.8 liter turbo. This engine is completely different, obviously, because the one was an inline 4, the other was a V8. This one is a boxer engine, so you know the crank's in the middle. You got a head here, and pistons 2 on each side, and they kind of fight each other. You know, that's why it's called a boxer, I think. You can see it is very dirty. You guys know, if you've watched the series, I did get this engine started while we did the collaboration with WD Detailing. All I did was drop it in. It was seized at the time when I really grabbed it, but we sprayed some lubricant in the spark plug holes. I was able to then crank it with my wrench on the main crank here, and then, you know, I put new spark plugs in it, we got fuel to it, and boom, it started at WD's shop. That was the only time I ran it, and we didn't run it very long because, you know, obviously it was running like crap. It was extremely loud because down here, absolutely no exhaust, and that's because this sucks. I cut this out years ago, and I hope I didn't damage our block, guys. I remember I used the plasma cutter. It doesn't look like there's damage. I was young and stupid. But that being said, that's something that we're gonna have checked out, obviously. One of the studs came out, it looks like. Oh yeah, all 3 of these are cut. So the thing is, that's one thing we have to get fixed. A common thing with these Subaru engines is the head gaskets tend to go. So we're obviously going to be doing head gaskets. We know that for sure. A timing belt kit while we have everything torn down. A new water pump. Pretty much all the general maintenance to this engine. I'm not a professional. I'll do my best to describe what we're doing as we go. We've already got the clutch, the pressure plate, and the flywheel removed to get it on the engine stand. But now we're just gonna slowly tear everything back, starting with the things that are easy to get to. I have no clue what we're gonna see and how it's gonna go. So the very first thing I do wanna do though is check the oil and then drain it. I bet you it's very old. I don't remember if I ever changed this oil after I bought the car. Let's go ahead and do that really quick. All right, so you could see we were pretty much overfilled. You know, it's not black. I don't see any metallic. So I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna go ahead and drain that so we don't have to worry about it when we're tearing everything down that starts dumping on us. Gotta go grab a pan. Oh boy, I'm surprised how thin that is. It is freezing out today, and you can clearly see it's running like it's water. So yeah, the oil is pretty compromised if you ask me. It should be a little thicker than that in the... Go ahead, open this for some airflow. Pretty basic. The very first thing we're gonna remove is the wires. I got these out of a pull apart one time because I thought they looked better than the OEM black ones, and I thought that these might have been the issue when it was misfiring. When I replaced them, it really didn't do much, so I don't think that was the story, but I still like the red. I think it's a better touch than the black. All right, there's one. There we go, number 2. I am gonna try and be as organized as possible because I have an issue with that already. I'm not the best at it, and I know that will only help me as we do this process. And number 4. There we go. Nice. Another thing I just want to remove and get it out of the way is my chain here. And I know, well, good. We'll remove this chain. Very cool. All right, so it's had plenty of time to drain, and I want to get this thing out of here before I kick it. So we're just gonna go ahead and plug her back up for now. Probably should take the oil filter off, let that drain too, so we don't have to worry about it when I flip this thing upside down. Oh. Yep, can't get it. Let me go get my pliers. But I might have to set this down. Okay. We'll let that drain for a minute before I move the tub. All right, so right on top we have our coil pack here, 4 10 millimeters, and an electrical pigtail, which I'll go ahead and make sure I can break these free. Nice. Very good. Go ahead, do the clip. Wow. So here's our coil pack. We're gonna go ahead, set this aside, and I'm gonna just thread the bolts right back in place. That's generally how I do all of the work. I like to put the bolts back where they came from. If you haven't heard me say that already in this series, I've cut me saying that out a lot of times. This way, when we go to build it again, we know exactly where that stuff belongs. We'll set the coil pack with the wires. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this AC compressor off. And now I will need to loosen the tensioner for this belt. Oh, as I tilted the engine, more oil started to spill out. And it looks like that is actually coming off. That's incredible. That's crazy. I thought for sure that was gonna snap there for a moment. I don't know if the tensioner itself is gonna loosen. I know these break all the time. Yeah, I don't think so. So what we're gonna do is just try and unbolt the entire thing and not change the tension, but just take it off. Let's go for this one. Oh, very good. Okay. That thing is threaded to the moon. And we really didn't even need to take that one off, I guess. But now we've got our tensioner pulley off. We're gonna end up replacing this, I'm already pretty certain of that. We can take the belt off. Okay, very good. Okay, just to show you guys really clearly, this is the best way to do it. We've got one right here in the back, and there is one down here that needs to be removed. But that's just the bracket that holds the accessories down. I believe that would have held part of the alternator bolts to this and that cover I was talking about. But I think that I could separate the two. If you see right here, we've got these studs, these longer bolts right here and in the back right there that run through to connect to that. And I think if we could have gotten all those off, we could actually remove just the AC compressor if that's what you're going to be replacing. But I know I can't do that because there's not enough space to pull these out unless I remove some of this other stuff. So what we're going to try and do is just pull the whole bracket off at once and see if that works, and we'll go from there. It's 14 millimeter. So that's good. We needed the open end here for this one in the front, or a box wrench, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, it's tight. Oh! Ah! That was a finger smasher, but we got it. Nice, we could just leave that in there for right now. And then we have this last one over here we have to get out. Oh, very good. And nothing better than that. So we'll get this one. And let's see if we can lift this thing up. Oh, there's one deep back there that they don't show you. How nice. Okay, so in order to get the bracket off for the compressor, there is one hidden back there, which I'll have to show you guys later. We'll just move on to the next step. Now that the oil filter is finally done spilling out, we're gonna remove this so I have some more space. Let's go ahead and get the coolant hose off really quickly. Look, we also have the lower radiator hose we have to get off. This one is a little different, and these actually were on the heater core and came off. So there's a chance that it does come free. Okay, that should do it. Let's go ahead and get these electrical clips. They're pretty basic, just squeeze clips. There we go. We got one, and let's see. Okay, that's very good. We got those out of the way. We're not going to take the sensors off quite yet. You can see this one is just filthy. I guess we can work on some of the electronics really quickly, get those all unclipped and try and get the wires out of our way so that we could get the intake off. See if I can get this one off. Everything's pretty greasy, so that doesn't make it any easier for me. I tell you what, guys, nothing is going to stop me from getting this job done. And I'm just so excited about how everything's been going. A little more. We don't want to break anything, so I'm trying to do my best to take my time. Just give it a little pry, I'll do it. Once you get it started, it'll come. There we go. There's an electrical clip right here I want to try and get off. Very good. That's nice. That's where we were hoisting the car. All right, so what we're gonna try and remove next is the actual throttle body itself. So we have a couple hoses for vacuum lines that we need to remove, and we have 4 12 millimeters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a electrical clip here that controls it. And I think after we get that disconnected, the throttle body will come off. 2, 4. Let's get the electrical disconnected. This one should be easier. It's a big clip. Okay, right here there's one that'll give us some space to work if I remove it. There we go. Ooh, brittle old wires. Don't love that. So now we have a little bit more space. Let's go ahead and get those vacuum lines disconnected, and maybe we'll be able to take this throttle body off. Just kind of grab them and give them a little bit of a rotation. It should break them free. Then you could tug like this. Very good. Okay, let's get these spring clips out of here and try and break these free. Nice. Go ahead and give this some pressure. There we go. We got one on this side. There we go. There we go. Come on. All right, there we go. It's off, it's just tight. I think everything is disconnected for the throttle body. Okay, there we go. Gasket's pretty much toast anyway. Not too worried about it. Set this aside. Got a pretty good looking throttle body. I don't think there's much to this. We could probably clean this and it'll be no issue. So we're gonna remove any connections that I see to the intake, to the block, and then we're just gonna try and remove the whole intake at once and see what happens. There we go. There we go. We have an electrical connection under here. Let's get the filler tube out for the oil. Okay, get this cap while we're here. Okay, very good. So right over here, try and move the camera for you guys. Right over here, it goes down here to the block and into the intake. So we're definitely gonna have to get that removed. Oh wow, that is great. It came right off. You know, if you guys remember when I was stripping the engine bay, all of the brake lines came off and the lines for the master cylinder. So I don't know if that's a Subaru thing, but that is awesome. No. Come on. Go ahead and bust all these out and see what happens. Go ahead and set you guys back a little bit and see what we get. Nice. It's not even very heavy. Let's see what's moving with this? I think majority of the fuel lines look like they come right off with the intake, which that means I didn't even need to pull the injectors. Well, I guess you live and learn, right? We'll find out though. That's hilarious, wow. Can you guys tell by my face I think it's hilarious? Wow. Unbelievable. All right, let's see what's hanging us up over there. Oh, I got a ground wire right here on top. Jeez, man, that is on there. Unless I bolt everything back down, I really can't torque that with a wrench. I wish I would have seen it. What are the chances that the snap-on breaks it with an impact? Ha! It didn't even flinch. Must be an electrical connection down here I'm missing. Oh yeah, there's two down here that are hard to see. Oh, it's a vacuum line, I see. It's in a tricky place to get to. Right here, we've got a 10 millimeter, it looks like, and on this side, a 10 millimeter. But then this vacuum pump will fall off, and it's holding with a vacuum line from right here. You can just barely see the spring clip. So that's what I'm gonna do really quick. Let's knock that out. Let's see if we can squeak in here and get these out. Is there a third one down below? Oh, there is. Okay, there's one last one and it's extra hidden down there. I'll show you guys when I get it removed. Nice, it came right off. Now I can go ahead and, the intake should essentially come right off now. Get this intake out of here. Growing up, I was taught to save everything you possibly could. And even if I'm sacrificing some time here, I feel better about removing it rather than just cutting it. And I got it, guys. Nice. It was deep in there. We got it. That was holding a wire. And what else do we got? Oh, there's one more. Let's flip this up. I'll move you guys around so you can see this. The very last thing holding it on, this zip tie here. These are 30-year-old zip ties and they're in better condition than some of the ones we use new out of the box. That's why I like these. That's a solid zip tie right there. Let's go ahead and get this disconnected. Oh, there is a wire here. Can we see this? Yep, there is a wire under there. We didn't remove and we needed to, so. Okay, there we go. Oh, one last thing, what do we got? Oh, the wires for the injectors. They run through it. Pull them right to here. All right, so now let's set this down. I'm gonna grab a towel so we can set this down and take a peek at it really quick before we move on. All right, really quickly, guys, I would like to say this is going really well. Nothing has broken so far, and I didn't expect anything to break. Obviously, it's aluminum, so nothing really rusts in the threads, and everything comes apart pretty easily. I'm happy that we got the intake off, so now we can see a little bit of the internals in the engine, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the intake, just briefly. We're not gonna waste too much time here. What I learned, now that I have this off, I absolutely did not have to take the injectors out, okay? I didn't need to. It would have came off. I could have just done the electrical connections and removed the intake, because obviously these fuel lines here, I'll just flip this up and show you guys, they are attached to the intake through a couple mounting brackets on the bottom. But honestly, it's not a big deal at all, because we are gonna be removing everything from this in order to clean it and do something fun with it. And if you guys have any suggestions what color, because obviously all the STIs are really red, we could go gold, blue, green, I could care less. Whatever color gets commented the most, we're gonna be doing this intake. Personally, I prefer red. I think it looks awesome. It's a staple for the STIs, and a lot of the guys do that. But if you guys all say green, if, you know, let's say out of the comments, 25 say green, hey, we're gonna go green. If you guys say, you know, orange like the gloves, like the Craftsman screwdrivers, we're gonna go orange. And that's just part of including you guys in the build. You know, I wanna know what you guys think and your suggestions. So in order to do that in the first place, we're gonna end up stripping everything off this thing and giving it a nice bath. And then, you know, we're gonna powder coat it or spray it. I have no clue yet how we're gonna do it. I've obviously sprayed a number of my parts in the past, calipers and, you know, engine components, stuff like that. But for this, maybe we powder coat it. That'd be something new and something I want to get involved with in the future. So like I said, whatever color is commented the most will be the color we do the intake. I think that's pretty cool, and I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about that. But no worries, we got the injectors out. We'll probably replace the injectors anyway, just in case, you know, down the road we're gonna do a boosted engine and we'll need more fuel, I guess you could say. That's why we would replace the injectors. No worries, not worried about it. But if you're following this to do it yourself, you absolutely do not need to remove those fuel rails and injectors to get the intake off. I wasted a good like 25 minutes there because, you know, I was just figuring it out. And that's really how we're doing this entire thing here. But yep, that's it. We're gonna go ahead and continue ripping this engine down. It's really getting interesting, and that is because we can see some valves in here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my light off and show you guys the best I possibly can. It's a little difficult to see in there, I'll be honest. Let me see if I can do it just like that. I'm trying to look at the screen of the camera to see what you guys are seeing. I think you could see the valve seat there, and this one's a little dirty. Some stuff fell in there. This one, not so bad, I'll say. Oh, that's better. Let's go to the other side. There is one that has carbon in there. And again, I'm not worried about it. We're gonna have this entire thing torn down, guys. So, you know, anything that's wrong with it, we're gonna replace and fix. These are actually pretty clean over here. I don't know if you guys can see too well. I'll try and zoom in on the video. I know it's a little difficult. These are open. This one was open, but there is carbon on those valves. I'm not sure if that's because the engine wasn't running properly through the cylinder, or, you know, too much fuel was getting in there, but the valve stems themselves look super clean. So that's a bonus. You know, I don't see too much gunk in the oil filler hole either. So yeah, now we can see the amount of nuts that the mice and squirrels and whatever rodents were trying to make a house here. I'm glad they're not here now. It's pretty dirty. Overall, the entire thing is filthy. I wonder what that bolt is from. I'm curious to find out what that bolt's from. Maybe it was a bell housing bolt I dropped. I have no clue, but it looks like it's been sitting there for 20 years. Maybe it wasn't even from me. I've never had this engine torn down like this, so I'm super excited to find out what we're gonna end up with by the time we get this completely taken apart. So that's it, guys. Let's just go right back to the compressor, because now we can finally get this off, and then we're just gonna continuously strip some things down. Really quick, I wanna put my camera down and I wanna show you that bolt we could not see. This is that final piece we had to remove before we could take the intake off. It had 3 bolts, and we're gonna go ahead and take this plastic valve off so we can remove this from the block and everything, but there was one down here. So you had the 2 up here that I did show you, and they came out really easy, no worries. But then you had this one that was sneaky right down there under this little vacuum hose. So we're gonna remove this really quick, get this off the car and put it right back on the intake so we don't lose it. I love to keep things organized that way. Then we're gonna remove this compressor. I think we could probably remove all of the wires now. The harness is pretty much exposed. Let's just get this done. I'm super pumped. We can probably get the heads off. We're probably gonna get the entire thing torn down straight up to the block in today's video, which is gonna be amazing and a really solid video for you guys. I'm super pumped about it. I'm gonna set up the camera and continue to work. Come on, there we go. There we go, come on. These aren't the right ones for removing spring clips, but it's not a big deal. This one's a little rusty, so I'm curious to see how this comes off. Oh yeah, there we go, it's coming right off. Oh, let's go ahead and remove the air compressor. We know that's what I went to do first. We had this sneaky bolt to remove the air compressor, and that's the bracket. I'm sorry guys, that's not to remove the compressor, because the compressor would come off this bracket. Now I'm not sure how, because I did try and remove that while it was installed in the engine bay. I just could not get this one broken free or something. I have no clue what the issue was, or I couldn't get this bolt out and cleared from this plastic, so I decided to go a different route. That's why we removed the alternator, so I could put the chain here. Without going on any further about that, because I know I will, this was the one that was preventing us from removing the bracket that holds the compressor. So let's go ahead and get that off really quick and get this thing out of here. Oh yeah, that's a tight one. Oh my God, I'm gonna get my wrench before I snap this Milwaukee in half. That Milwaukee is not made to break these free. I know I've been doing that everywhere, but that is not what that tool is for, just so you guys know. Okay, ready? Oh, I hope I didn't snap that because it felt crazy. Holy smokes. Not good. My headlight just died and I'm not thrilled about that, guys. Unfortunately, I don't really have another great light like my headlight. I have some older ones that just aren't as good, so we're gonna attempt to use this light bar I have as I work and just move it around as we go. Go ahead, get this off. Yep, I'm already 100% missing my headlight. Here we go. Nice, that's all she wrote. Compressor is off, very cool. Okay, everybody's home from school. It's about time I go home and I'm gonna be returning. Okay, so it's almost perfect timing, and the reason behind that is because my kids are home from school now. My headlight just died, so we really can't, everything is nicely lit. I won't say it's not, but it'd be better to have my headlight just because then I could really, you know, spotlight on what we're working on. So I think what we're gonna do, it's about like 4:30 right now. We're gonna remove like 1 or 2 more things really quickly, clean up, and then we're just gonna come back for my night shift. As you guys know, I absolutely love working at nighttime. I get here, you know, 11:30, and I'll probably be here till like 2 in the morning, and it's just so peaceful because I know that I will not be bothered while I work. And I don't mean bothered, I just mean I can work without having to worry about, you know, the kids being at home, missing me, and really, that's my, other than this kind of thing and work, that's my main focus and priority is being with my family. So, you know, it's a Friday. I'm actually working the day before I get the video finished up, edited, and to you guys, you know, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Well, actually, when you're watching this, it'll be past 4 p.m. But yes, today is Friday, the day before I'm dropping the video, and we're gonna be finishing this up. That's because during the week I did change my plans, and that's a long story, but you know, here we are. So I'm gonna be returning later tonight to finish this up. I wanna pull 1 or 2 more things off of this before we go, and then obviously I'll just pick up the camera when I return. And that's cool because I'll actually bring my other camera and do a time lapse of the rest of this. And like I said, it's 4:30 now, just about. I don't know if you guys can see that. 4:30, we'll come back around 11, I'll show you guys that. And that's just what we have to do. It just works out that way. So, and like I said, perfect timing because my headlight just died and I really want to be able to show you guys this. So the last thing I'm going to do while I'm here is we're just going to go ahead and see if we can lift this wire harness off. There is 2 clips right here. It's a little dark. I really hate that it's dark. Let me see. Oh yeah, these are the absolutely last 2 things that we have to remove. Very cool. Let's go ahead and do it. There's a clip right here and a little press clip for, you know, this is probably like a temperature sensor under here. Wish I could show you. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. These are the last 2 things. We'll go ahead and get these disconnected and then we're out of here. And I'll lube up the thing. I will spray some blaster on here. That one came off really nice and easy. Let's do this press clip. Come on. Come on. Back. Okay, nice. Here we go, guys. Wire harness for the engine is off. What's up? This is cool. We're really making some solid progress. This is pretty brittle, and wow, I have an incredible story for you guys. This is perfect. I am so pumped. I'm gonna tell you guys the story when I return, so you know, hopefully I remember that I was telling you I was gonna tell you the story, but I have a great story about another Subaru and this wire harness right here. Can't wait to tell you guys. I hope that you enjoy that. Storytelling is one of my favorite things. So what we're gonna do now is hit this up with some blaster. This is even better reason to call it quits right now. I will bring my nice vacuum back and we'll vacuum some of this crud off, all the nuts and debris, so we can really get a good look at it, and then we don't have to play around with all this mouse poop and rodent poop. We'll just clean it all up. So yeah, here goes the wire harness. We're just gonna go ahead and set it down. Yeah, let's go ahead and spray some lubrication on here and head the heck out of here. Go hang out with the kids until everybody goes to bed. All right, here we go. Let's pull the pin and see what happens when we flip this bad boy upside down. Here we go. Oh, we're gonna lose a lot of our nuts, guys, but do we really care? No, not at all. Let's go ahead and just turn it. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go. Oh, we're losing some oil. Oh, we're losing a lot of oil. Okay, hold the phone. Before I get too messy and I upset my dad, he hates oil. Let me go grab the bucket, put the oil dry down. Oh my God, it's everywhere. I need an oil dry company to sponsor me so I don't have to worry about using this stuff so much. It ain't cheap. Here we go. Now it's time. Let's go this way. Let's see what we got. Oh. Okay, I think we're good. Here we go, all the way. Let's go. Let's go. And yo, of course it's on that side, right? Oh! I bet when I drained it, I had it on that tilt, and then it wouldn't allow it to drain the way I wanted it to. Let's go ahead and spray this bad boy up with some penetrant so we can get the heck out of here. This is great, guys. Oh yeah, you hear that thing? He's leaking out all his oil. It's like tomato. My son used to love cars. He's so old now. Okay, now it's time we can really lubricate anything underneath we need to. I'm gonna go ahead and hit these with some lubricant. Lubricate all of the oil pan bolts so we don't have any issues. This is gonna be great. I'm so happy I thought of this before we left so that these can soak while we're not here. Because Lord knows we don't want to break any of these. Extracting those are no fun. Okay. I actually think that's everything underneath. Oh yeah, let's hit that freeze plug. Oh, let's hit the thermostat housing. I think that's everything, guys. All right, that's that. I'll catch you guys in a few hours when I return to finish up tearing this engine apart. Let's get it done. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash the subscribe button. The channel has been growing. The past month has been incredible. And I'm telling you guys, it's something I haven't seen before, is just natural growth on the RS series. Just like I said in the beginning of this video, the last one hit 1,000. The previous few hit 700 and 800. I mean, we are inching closer and closer to some really big numbers. And that makes me so happy. I appreciate all of your support, and you guys are the best. I love doing this stuff, and I have some really special things ahead for this channel. I have really big goals and dreams, so thank you so much for being a part of that. I can't wait to return to get this thing finished up so we can really assess what we're gonna be doing with it. I'll catch you guys in a few hours. Peace out for now.